Hello, fellow floss tubers. This is Lynn Welch's, also known as Love to Cross Stitch. While my husband's up there watching Star Wars, which I'm getting tired of, we've seen that since I was a teenager, I think. So I'm tired of it. Anyway, so I thought today I would show you some of my patterns because I haven't got anything finished yet. And my beading is like to that many rows, about 19 more rows to go and it's done. My cross stitch is pretty close to being done, so but they're not done. And I thought it would be kind of cool if I just showed you some of my patterns since I showed you my kits. So I'm going to go with this. Okay, one of my favorites are these patterns. Yeah, now I'm going kind of blind. They are lavender and lace. A lot of those are lavender and lace, so I love this one. And I got a pattern from an Australian gal, Dawn, and she sent me this a while back, and I haven't done that yet. So I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do next. I want to do something in between the cat samplers. So, and then my mother-in-law gave me this, which is kind of cool. So haven't done that, and I've been kind of thinking about doing this. It's a thread holder, you know, what do you call it, needle and thread holder, and so that would be kind of cool to do. I could probably sell it. I don't know. Yeah. There's another pattern. I'm very patriotic, as you can tell by the sample back here. That's one of my Quilts of Valor blocks that I'm not blocks, quilt tops I'm working on. So here's another one of those patterns. That one's not really my favorite, but it's a cool pattern. And somebody gave me this. So there's quite a few things that people give me, and I tend to hang on to them just to see if I'm going to use them. I love this one. And I keep thinking when my daughter's going to get engaged that I'll do that for her. So then there's this one, which is kind of cool. I have a whole box full, so you're going to be here a while. And then there's this one. I love the angels. Angels are my favorite. And there's another one. So I have some of the older ones. I love this. My husband's not into the Indian themes, but I love this, and I'm probably going to have to do it. This is next on my list someday. So I'm into Santa Claus. Like I said, I'm very patriotic, so I have this one. But I've seen the other one. There's another one, and she's a lot prettier than this one, and I wish I had that pattern. So if anybody wants to give up their pattern, I'd love to have it. Then there's that one. So I started collecting memorabilia, and so I have a lot of those. There's that one. And like you saw in the kits where I had the kits all set together, those are the ones that had the beads and everything with it. So, and again, Christmas. I love Christmas themes. I've had this one for a very long time, but I'm not sure I'll ever probably do that. I watched everybody working on this one, so I had to get that pattern. Not real crazy about this one, but I do have it. I don't know if I'll ever do it. It's and then again, here's another one that I'd probably make for my daughter if she ever gets engaged. So, and fell in love with long dog samplers. So I got this, and I'm loving that. I am a big fan of the footprint sanity, you know, the footprint in the sand poem. I've had that pattern and the, not the pattern, I've had the poem on my wall ever since 1979, and recently it just came off the wall probably about 5-10 years ago, but it has always been one of my favorites. So I have this, and I love Teresa's work, so chances are this is going to be on my list to do. Here's the pattern that I've already made, and I think I've shown that one in one of my previous videos. Somebody gave me this, and I'm not sure if there's a pattern in it because it's just a thing. And then I fell in love with these. And since I'm dyslexic, it's kind of hard to pronounce some of this stuff, but this one says the Egyptian garden, and so that's on my list. I've also thought about doing this. I like the different seasons. So this is the 4 seasons. And like I said, I like Teresa's pattern, so this is one I was thinking of doing in memory of the cat that got stolen 2 years ago. So there you go. Isn't that pretty? I do like that. So I have some paper patterns of some that I had. Here's some more patterns that were given to me. They remind me a little bit of Japan. And so there's this one. And this one. I think I had the other 2 that go with it, and I gave them away to one of the floss tubers that does floss tubing. So, and sorry about the lighting. It's later at night, and I got away from my husband. So anyway, here's a fireweed summer. They remind me of Alaska a little bit, and I have all 4 of those. So see those and those. And speaking of the kits that I had, here's the last one. So the kits that I showed last time, I did have somebody that was interested in the kit that I started, and so it's going to Finland. So, and if I could pronounce her name, I'd tell you who it was, but I can't pronounce her name. So here's another one. I'm not quite sure how many of these there are. Maybe that's it. And I have Norwegian descent. My dad was half Norwegian, so I found this and I had to have it. So it's the Oslo Harbor Lights in Norway, and I was gonna do that, but I haven't done that yet. Family Blessings, and I want to do this. I saw Bliss Stitch. He did that not too long ago, and it was really pretty. And so I had everything ready for it, but then I didn't do it. So then I have the patterns I got enlarged of these guys. Born Free. I don't know how that's going to look. The picture on it looks awful, but I hope it looks a lot better. Earth Goddess. I'm not done. Memories. So I've got this. Memories. Antique Wedding. I was going to do that for Dan, my other son, but his wedding got canceled. So I'll have to do one when I know that he's going to get married again. There's another one. The Summer Outing. Lighthouses of America. I love lighthouses. So I sometimes collect them when I'm around a lighthouse. And then Northern Exposures Needleworks. I got that one. I saw this one and I can't remember who was working on that one. My son and daughter-in-law got me this pattern, so I haven't worked it out yet. And that's more for scraps, your leftovers and stuff. Debbie B's Designs. I saw this worked up at the shop and I just had to have it, so I bought it. But as you can tell, I haven't done anything on it yet. And Cross Stitch Day. This one. And then there's that one. So, and just cross stitch the castle sample. And I got that one for my son years ago, and haven't done that one either. Again, Norway. So, Lady of the Harlot, Scarlet. So anyway, there's this one. I really like that. It reminds me of my family. Generations of quilters, cross stitchers, embroiderers, crocheters, knitters, you know, it's a big thing. Here's another cat collection one. I may end up doing that one. That looks like almost like Carly. And then I got into Heaven and Earth. So there's Heaven and Earth designs. That one. I got that one in the circle too. I'll show it to you. The seaside, I just love this one. And here's that one I was telling you about. I got it with the circle. I like to have my patterns hard copies. So, and then the Christmas one. Here's the wedding sampler, and this is the one I've got made up, but I haven't got the writing done inside, and I really don't know what I'm going to put in the writing, so who knows. Another Heaven and Earth designs. These were really cheap, so I picked them up. There's 2 of them. And then of course you're into the pirates and the mermaids, so then I had to get that one. So it looks like that is all. Oh, and then years ago I got this pattern, and I got it, I think on eBay or something, and I haven't done that yet. That was originally for my son because he was into dragons and things like that. So as you can tell, I've got a lot of choices to make. I just got to figure out what I'm going to do. I know I have more kits and patterns around here somewhere, and I'm looking around as I'm talking to you. I had an idea that I could share to save time on something, and offhand I can't remember what it was. So excuse me for looking around all the time, but it's kind of like my brain is going in 5 different directions and whatnot. I made the face masks, and unfortunately they're upstairs. I made a bigger one for my husband, so it fits him better. I guess he's got a bigger head than I do. So like I said, this is more of what I do. My Quilts of Valor. Here, let's see if I can get it. Sorry about that. Ooh-wee. Anyway, so I like to do panels, eagle panels and stuff for Quilts of Valor. And so I put them up on the wall, and then I start working a row after a row, and after I get in this case I have 2 rows, 2 borders done, and the more I look at it, then I try to figure out what else I'm going to have. My mother's been doing applique stars, so a lot of times I'll add the applique stars to it, but right now it's just sitting there trying to figure out what's going on. I had to cancel our presentation for May because of all this virus stuff going on. It's frustrating, it's irritating. I would love to honor my veterans, but it's stay at home, and I don't know, you know, I'm amazed at people that just don't know what the word stay at home means. I mean, I watch the news and I see these places where there's people lined up to go into Walmart, and there's people just crowded around beaches and places like that, and they don't understand how deadly this virus is. We don't have a cure, so why would you want to risk your life? We had on the news the other day of bus driver who was complaining because somebody came onto the bus and they were coughing and sneezing, and they didn't bother to cover themselves up and stuff. So he posted it on Facebook. 4 days later he got the virus, and then within 7 days he was gone. And so do you really want to risk other people's lives? It just amazes me why we're in that me world and not who everybody else is. So I see a needle point and another needle point that I have my Brazilian embroidery. I have a lot of stuff going on. So at this point, I'm going to tell everybody, please be safe. Please stay home. And hey, while we're home, the fun part is I have done more cross stitch and more beading and more crafts this whole time that I've been home than I could when I had to run and do errands, or if I had to run to a meeting or something. So I think this is a really good time to get caught up. Not that I'm going to get caught up. I have way too many quilt projects, but I'm not in the mood for quilting, so I'm not going to do quilting. So that being said, stay home, enjoy your crafts, and hopefully the next time I'm on, I will show you 2 finished projects, which will be my beading and my cat sampler. So God bless, take care, and while I knock things over, I'll be thinking of you, and I hope to see each of you soon. Talk to you later.